All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to unpack a fascinating idea, what it truly means to feel at home. And we're going to do it by looking at a really beautiful and profound poem.
So let me just start with a question for you. What if the perfect home was one you didn't actually own? I know, it sounds a little strange, right? We spend so much of our lives trying to build that permanent spot, that place to put down roots. But what if all that effort is the very thing that makes us feel alienated?
Well, that's the big paradoxical question we're going to explore today by diving into Home, a really powerful poem by the award-winning Indian poet Arundhati Subramaniam. It's a short piece, but trust me, it might just completely reshape how you think about belonging. Now, for those of you who might not know her work, Subramaniam is a huge voice in poetry today. Her writing always digs into these big, deep questions about identity, spirituality, our place in the world, which is exactly what we're about to see in this poem. Okay, so first up, a home that isn't mine, and what the poem calls the paradox of possession. To get into this, the poem just kicks off with this direct, almost startling request. It goes right after that core idea of ownership that we all tend to crave. So she just comes right out and says it. She wants a home that isn't hers, a place she can just move through freely, without a trace, and, this is crucial, without being weighed down by all the responsibilities that come with it. And these details aren't random. The plumbing, that's a symbol for the constant nagging maintenance and responsibility. The color of the curtains, well, that's about the social pressure of making choices, of crafting an identity for everyone else to see. And that phrase, cacophony of books, it's the mental overload, the pressure to always be learning, consuming, doing more. It's a plea for an escape from the clutter of a life that's defined by what we own and what we owe. So the poem shifts from those physical burdens to something much deeper. Let's talk about a home worn lightly and escaping emotional clutter. Wow, what a metaphor, right? A home you can wear lightly, like a jacket you can just slip on and off. The speaker wants a space that isn't emotionally clogged with old arguments, with memories. A place where their own ego, their self, doesn't feel the need to expand and dominate every single corner. And this is where that contrast becomes so clear. In what she calls the owned home, the past is practically a physical thing, and our sense of self inflates, it bloats to defend its territory. It's that pressure to perform an identity, even in your own house. But then there's the visited home, and in that space, there's freedom. There's just room to breathe psychologically, without the weight of history or the need to be someone. Okay, get ready, because this final stanza is where it all comes together. This is where the poem makes its most critical turn, and the metaphor of home gets intensely personal. The body is a rented room, the ultimate revelation. And there it is, a home, like this body. Bam! The whole time, it wasn't just about a house. It was a metaphor for the human body itself. I mean, that is the poem's absolutely stunning revelation. So that's the big twist, the whole point the poem has been building towards. The home is a mirror for the body. All that struggle with maintenance, with emotional baggage, it's really about the struggle of just living inside our own skin. And this table here just brilliantly illustrates that final, powerful paradox. The moment we try too hard, the moment we're trying to belong to our own bodies, to control and possess them, they feel alien, foreign. But when we shift our mindset, when we decide we're just visiting, that very same body becomes a welcoming, hospitable place. It's incredible. So what does this all mean in the end? What is this art of just visiting? And what does it mean to live lightly? If you look at the poem's structure, it takes us on this very clear journey inward. It starts with the external world, rejecting physical things. Then it moves into the internal, emotional world, escaping the past. And finally, it lands in the most intimate space of all, embracing our own body, not as a possession, but as a temporary home. So ultimately, the poem's core message is this. True comfort, that real feeling of belonging, it doesn't come from ownership. It comes from letting go. It's found in being light, in being present without clinging, whether that's in a house or in your own skin. And this is why this poem just feels so relevant, so necessary right now. We live in a world that pressures us constantly to define ourselves, to have a fixed identity, to put down roots. This poem offers a completely different path. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, real freedom isn't in permanence. It's in learning to be comfortable and gracious guests in our own lives. And so that leaves us with a final, pretty powerful question to think about. I mean, really consider it. What could you release? The burdens, the clutter, the emotional weight? What freedom could you find if you decided, just for today, that you're only here for a visit?